Well, good afternoon. We all got an early mark today. The Who's were on at Randwick, of course, at headquarters, and we only saw three races, and the meeting was abandoned. It's funny. I said 1,000,000 to 1. Well, as soon as I said it, I said, "Hello, I'll be off for sure." Someone without grabbed hold of me before the first race. They said, "They're only going to run a couple of races here, and they'll be off." I said, "Oh yeah, of course they will be. Yeah, 1,000,000 to 1. Yeah, well they ran three and they were off. The Hickey Hockeys, they said there was poor visibility in between a section between the 500 and the 800, and the track wasn't any good or whatever the story was. Anyway, they called the meeting off after three races. It was a heavy 10. Rail was in the normal position, and I suppose off the fence was the place to be. They came wideish on the turn. I'll give you the flux of these in this first race. They said there was 101.7 on the screen. We only got about 97 in the marketplace. It wasn't worth a tray, wasn't worth a caser. Just impossible to work, and the winner, of course, was backed. The flux in this race were devised. Number one, it went from only $4.20 out to $8.50, didn't have a price. Successio, who stumbled very badly turning for home, the rider got suspended, Mrs. A. Collette. She went for, tried to push through a gap or got on the, whatever she did, she got on the heels of a runner, and she nearly came down. She nearly got dislodged from Successio. It picked itself up, and it's only been beaten the length. So I suppose this run was good. You don't know what that took out of it, blundering so badly in the heavy going. By the same token, the winner got a little bit held up as well. We'll get to that. Black Jag, number 4. Number 3 was scratched. Number 4, Black Jag. We put it up a $6 chance, got out to $7, which you wouldn't see on the screen. Came into $5, never went off. I never wound it off. I was $5.50 when they jumped. Diamond Jim, always $12. Planet Purple, the winner, $4.40 to $6, which you wouldn't see, back into $5, very hard to get towards the close of betting. Bag of Nickels, 17 out to 31, and Celtic Prince fluctuated $4 out to $4.40, back to $4, back out to $4.40 at the death of at the finish of betting. And Black Jag, they said we're going to lead today. It did, and it was more or less, it was gone before the turn. The winner, it sat last on the fence. When they turned for home, it was absolutely, it was travelling very easily. So was the horse that stumbled, the second horse, Successio. But the winner, once he pushed, who was it? The third horse, a Bag of Nickels, out of the way. He went through the gap, and he found the line a bit too strong for Successio, and it ran third, Bag of Nickels, and it was beaten 1.2 lengths. The others were well back in the field. Devise ran fourth, beaten 6.8 lengths. There was nobody really wanted to bet. You can't blame them because of the very heavy conditions. And we tested the pros right to the right out, and we only gave 97, and the winner, as I say, was $6 into $5 taken. The second race, I suppose I was a bit lucky here. I didn't really like this winner, Wouldn't It Be Nice? And I was always top odds. Now again, percentage-wise, there was nothing there, and it was hopeless. Nobody was really betting, especially the winner at one stage was backed. I was longer than what had started SP when they jumped. They said there was only 100.4 on the screen. We got a couple less in the marketplace, about 98. And this winner, Wouldn't It Be Nice? It trotted in. It was eased down the last little bit. It went from $3.50 out to $4. back into $3.60, back out to about $3.80. Started, I was $3.70 laying it when they jumped. Corio, it went from $3.50 out to $4. Baltic Warrior was 26 out to 41, back to 31. No Ifs or Buts was $7.50 out to $8.50. Cool Days, $8 out to $8.50, back into $5.50. Fast Car didn't have a price. It went from $5 to $8.50. And Front Fun, it was $10 early, a little bit of it, but generally $9. But it got down to start $10 towards the end of betting. No figures whatsoever. And this winner, it sat back in last position. Wouldn't it be nice? It went to the lead. Front Fun, I own the lead. Trained by Gabe, ridden by Clark, T. Clark, and the winner, once it got a split, it went up to them after topping the rise. It raced clear, and the race was all over very, very quickly. It ran second in the race after sitting in third position, looking at the two leaders, Baltic Warrior, the outsider of the field. But winner was only won by 1.8 lengths, but was eased down the last bit for a very, very easy win. There were the rider of Fast Car copped a bit of a check at the start after missing the kick, and Corio, the runner that won at Gosford, the rider said it pulled on him a bit, and also didn't really handle the conditions. The third race came along, which turned out to be the last race on the program. Excuse me. They said there was 102.3 on the screen, 98% only in the marketplace. This was for the 2-year-old fillies, and Northern Glory, who defeated Average last start, was victorious again. It led on the, well, I'll give you the flux. Average, number one, we put it up at the $2.80 favourite. Bookie, you wouldn't see it on the screen. There was a mile of $3.50, started $3, into $2.90 at one stage. I never wound $2.90 off, or I might have made it $2.80 for a little while, back out to $3 towards the finish. And it went from $2.80 out to $3.50, back into $2.90, back out to $3. Northern Glory, $3.20 out to $3.80, back into $3.50. Mademoiselle didn't have a price, 13 out to 18. Harada Tat Tat, 21 out to 31. Egyptian Cross, well backed, $6.50 into $5.50. Now, the second horse, Repartee, it trained by Moody, it's had the one go, won a race in Victoria, in Melbourne, and bookies wanted to reach for it. And did they reach for it? We put it up an $8 chance, 7 to 1, and it got out to $19 before it was backed, and it started 17, but it more or less didn't have a price in the betting. The next runner, Clarissa, also very easy in the betting, from $7 out to $9, and Straffic, it went from $26 out to $51, although layable at one stage at 41, but started 51. The winner, as I said, was Northern Glory. 8 runners drew the outside alley, sat in third last position, looking at Mademoiselle. It led Harada Tat Tat. On its outside was the second horse, Repartee. Tucked in more or less just behind them and in between them was the favourite, Average. And then we had Mademoiselle running fourth, and the winner on the back of it. And it was a little bit too strong over the concluding stages, getting to the outside in the straight, Northern Glory, and a little bit too strong for the visitor from Melbourne. That was about the meeting. Of course, all of the patrons on course, before an announcement was made on course, the meeting was abandoned. Of course, it appeared on one of the screens, and you could see it. If you're off course, you knew, you would have known they were off. There were before the betting was taking place in race 4, and we had people walking around saying they're off, they're off. Well, they were 100% right. The hickey hockeys and the stewards agreed that it was a little bit unsafe for racing. If it was New Zealand or in England, of course, for some reason the hickey hockeys tend to go around on much heavier tracks, but here in Australia, they seem to say no, it's a little bit unsafe. But safety is of course, is the paramount thing. And if someone was injured, well, of course, it would be no good. But it is strange that they do race on heavier tracks in other countries. That was about the meeting. So we had an early mark. If you bet at Randwick or you bet at Interstate for the rest of the day, I hope you had some luck. Good afternoon.